to give you a video on how you can add audio to a Google Doc or a Google Slide in order to make a spelling test where students could do this autonomously without the teacher having to read the words to them outright. Originally, I wanted you to use I suggested an app called Mote, but Mote has become more expensive since the last time I used it, and so I wanted to show you a way to get around that that's not too difficult to use. It just takes a couple extra steps. So you'll see that I'm here in my Google Drive, and the first thing that I want to do in my Google Drive is I want to choose New, and I'm going to go to More, and then I'm going to connect more apps. And what I'm looking for is Cloud Audio Recorder. And when I see Cloud Audio Recorder, it looks like this. It is free, and I'm going to install it. You have to give it permissions to install. And once you have given it the permissions to install and you click to continue, you're going to notice that as soon as it does open, then when you click New and you choose More, it should show up right here as a little microphone icon. This is what we're looking for. So as soon as you have this, you can record one word at a time, and I'm going to show you what that looks like. Cat. The cat was playing with the mouse. Cat. I'm going to choose stop. I'm going to export as an MP3, and I'm going to save it to my Google Drive. You see you have an option to save to your computer. I'm choosing to save it to my Google Drive to make it easier. I do want to save this as the word cat so that I can find it later. I'm going to click change, and I'm going to save it to my Google Drive. You'll see that it's going to save right there. And I can click close, and I can check with the next word. Tap. When I hear good music, I can't help but tap my toes. Tap. Stop. Export as an MP3, save it to my Google Drive, change it to the word tap, and I'm good to go. Whoops, forgot to save it. I have to click change to save it, and then I save it to my Google Drive, and it'll be saved as tap. So now how about finding that in our Google Drive? So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to choose type, and I'm going to choose audio, and you should see as soon as it uploads that when I do that, here we go. See how I accidentally saved this one twice, so I'm going to get rid of it. And I've got cat and I've got tap, and I see when I saved them. So let's say that I want my students to do a spelling test. I could put one word on each page, and I can give my students a place to write. So I'm just going to put a quick here and change that so that they see it a little bit easier. And I'm going to put a number 1 on here. No, I meant to say question 1. Word 1. And then they would just type in here. So it's as simple as clicking insert, audio, and then I go and find the word that I was looking for. I'm going to choose cat. I'm going to insert it. And then when your students see this page, they just hit the play button. And then they would double click in here and they would write their word. Obviously, you'd want to play with those fonts, make them nice and big so you could see them all. You could put more than one on each page, but that's just one easy way to do that. Another thing that you could do to make it a little bit easier on yourself is instead of putting one on each page, you could do all of them all together and then have one page with all of that. So let's look and see what you might be asking yourself, well, why wouldn't you put that on just a Google Doc? Because it's a lot easier to take a test on a Google Doc, and I absolutely agree with you. So I'm going to put spelling test. And I'm just going to insert a table. we'll have question number 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And my students would be putting their words inside this. Nice and big. So, all right. So then when I insert, notice how there is no insert of an audio file. So what I can do is I can highlight this and I can go back to my Google Drive and there's the word cat. And I can share it. I can copy the link. And when I come over here, I could like insert a play button if I want to have an image of a play button, or I can use a hyperlink, apply that, and they would have it. Here's the problem. It says the word cat on my file. And so they would get that word and they would already see it. The other thing is when they click on it, it takes them to a completely different page and then they can hear the audio recording that way. So it's not quite as easy to work that way, but there is another workaround that I suggest. So one of the things that you could do is instead of recording them all one at a time, I could go here to Drive. I can choose more, I can choose my audio recorder, and then I can record all of the words for that whole test together on one, the same way that you would record yourself if you were recording the whole period. Number 1, cat. The cat was playing with the mouse. Cat. Number 2, tap. When I hear good music, I can't help but tap my toes. Tap. Number 3, bin. Put your homework in the bin. Bin. Number 4, sip. I like to sip lemonade on a hot day. Sip. Once you've recorded all of the words, you would export it one time, and then when you save it to your Google Drive, you would just save it as spelling test, 1 or spelling test 2 or however whatever naming convention you like. And when I save it to my Google Drive, if I do it this way, then when I go here to my spelling test, I could put a quick icon in here, insert image of a play button, and I'm going to search the web for a play button. And when I find one that I like, kind of like the purple one, I can resize it to whatever size I like. And then I can go back to my Google Drive, refresh it so that all of my recordings show up, and I find spelling test number 1. I can copy the link. And once I copy the link and I put it over here, I can take this, I can link it, and I can paste that link right in there. And then when students are taking the test, they just see spelling test number 1. It opens in a new page. They hit play, and then they click back. What's nice about this is they can pause and go back as needed, but you have all of the words all in one place. I hope this helps. If you have any other questions or you want to see a different way to do that, I'm happy to help anytime. Thanks.